It's full time here at Goodison Park after a game that's an important game at both ends of the table and when perhaps as predictable. Unfortunately, Everton were just undone, outclassed by a very good Manchester City side despite the changes that they did make. They fought really hard for the first half an hour, the shades of the Arsenal away game and the defeat here to Newcastle last time we were at Goodison Park from this. Everton battled really hard for the first half an hour, 35 minutes, and we were in the game. But as we've seen so often this season, especially against the better sides, they just didn't quite have the quality to make the chances pay. Not that they created a lot. Mason Holgate had a good chance, but it was a difficult chance at 0-0. And once they got through the first 30-35 minutes, the class of City just shone through. They only needed one chance. It wasn't even a chance at that. Ilkay Gundogan scored a superb effort with his back to goal, somehow flicking it over his shoulder and past Pickford. And before you knew it, it was 2-0. The inevitability of Erling Haaland scoring once again, even though by that stage he'd been kept out of the match by Yerry Mina. At half-time, you thought maybe Dyche could help to regroup the players, maybe there'd be a comeback, maybe there'd be a bit of fight in the second half. But that really changed once Dominic Calvert-Lewin didn't come out, replaced for Neal Maupay for what might have been to rest him, might have been a degree of protection in that. But we will wait to see. And obviously, the big question will be: does he have any injuries? Beyond that, obviously, Neal Maupay came on in the early stages of the second half. City scored a third, moved the game well out of Everton's reach. Gundogan again, scored 2 last weekend, scores 2 again, this time straight from a free kick, and it put the game beyond Everton's reach. They made a couple more substitutions. Idrissa Gueye early on, you suspect that might have been protecting him for Wolves and Bournemouth going forward, but this was a game that was done, if not by 45 minutes, and certainly by 47 when the free kick had gone in. Obviously, we're now looking forward to Wolverhampton Wanderers going next week, but first I think attention will turn to Leicester tomorrow night when they play Liverpool. Obviously a huge game in the relegation running, and then I think also another massive game that has certainly picked up more importance today, and that's West Ham versus AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands on Thursday. AZ Alkmaar, obviously they trail West Ham by a goal, but that game, West Ham still in Europa Conference League, and with a mind to that game against Alkmaar on Thursday. David Moyes has made 7 changes to his side today, and obviously they've lost at Brentford. West Ham are kingmakers in this relegation battle. They face Leeds and they face Leicester. If they get through to that Europa Conference League final, there is every chance that David Moyes, thinking that they're already safe, will rest the players for those games as well, and that could really change the complexion of this relegation battle. But one thing that is worth bearing in mind is I think at half-time, even at 2-0 down, the Everton players were warmly applauded off the pitch. I think the fans could see the effort and they could just see they just weren't quite good enough today. And at full time as well, they received warm applause, although a lot of fans had left the stadium. In the final minutes, it was quite interesting actually, because the Everton fans really got behind the players. I think that really is also important going into these final games of the season. We know the fans will be behind them. We know there'll be another sold-out away end at Molineux next weekend. And we know the fans will do everything that they can to ensure that Everton have the best chance of staying out of this relegation zone.